Hello YouTube friends. So as I promised, I'm gonna do my video on all of my ghost hunting equipment. I finally have everything. I'm also just gonna tell you right now, I'm probably not gonna be as enthusiastic as I normally am. We had someone in our family actually die, and it was brought back to life but is on a respirator, and if he ever wakes up, which he probably won't, he's gonna be mildly to severely brain damaged. So I've had a day. I don't even want to go into that right now, but it's kind of, I'm not as super excited as I would be otherwise, so I apologize for that, but I'm still going to get this done, because if I don't do it now, I won't get to do it until like next weekend, because next week is very busy for me. So I'm going to start off by telling you guys, first of all, my most awesome piece of paranormal investigating equipment is probably the camera that I'm filming on right now, so can't really show you that. You can see the result of how it does stuff though. That's kind of cool. The downside to this camera is there is no light on it, so I can film until it's nighttime and then I can't do anything. Like every time I do this video, there's a lamp that I have like right behind this, that way you guys can actually see me. So that's where the light's coming from, not from the camera. The other thing that I have, and I had both of these things before Christmas, this I've actually had for probably 7, maybe 8 years. It is an Olympus audio recorder, and it's got an external speaker set, which is kind of unique. I haven't really seen a whole lot of those, but this is really, really awesome. I've had it for years. It works very well. Back when I very first was into ghosts, I had like a really crappy digital like still camera and this and this was like $100 when I bought it. It was like a birthday gift or a Christmas gift way back then too. So there's that. Everything else I'm going to show you guys came from a website called ghoststop.com, so if you're interested in this stuff, you can look around there. Some of it's kind of like this, seems sort of cheap. Everything else is very nice, but this is actually pretty awesome, so I'm going to show this to you too, even though it looks like it's silly and plastic, but it's pretty neat. So if you've ever seen a show where they're like in a room and they set down a flashlight and they don't touch it and they're like, turn on the light if something or other, and then all of a sudden the light kicks on, this is that. You twist it and the light will go on and off. So theoretically this is a device you would use to communicate with spirits, not necessarily see your way in the dark. But that's what this is. Let's see, I'm gonna go over my other EVP recorder now. I keep calling them EVP recorders, but they're really MP3 players. This is an MP3 player. It is the Electrohome EVP MP3 player. It's 4 gigs, and the cool thing about this is, if I can get this thing to come off, this is like directly plugs into a USB port, which is awesome. There's no external cords that you have to carry around everywhere. It's literally, it's this, the end. That's super cool to me. I hate cords. Like I lose and I don't know what goes to what, and it drives me nuts. So, really, really like this. The cool thing about this, that this does not do, this probably picks up sound better, but this does something that the other one doesn't do. Whenever I'm recording on this thing and I pause it, it like cuts it off and it starts a totally new file. The cool thing about this, and me and my friend Blaine came up to visit. Hi Blaine, if you're watching this, I'm sure you will. We were playing with this and it works pretty good as far as sound and stuff. We were kind of testing with like whisper and everything. But the really neat thing that I discovered when we were doing that is when I hit pause and then I hit record again, it's all in one file, but it just smushes it together. So like I can do something, pause it, walk around, and then sit down somewhere and hit it again, and it's still like in that same file, which I think is really cool, and here's why. Something that really always annoyed me whenever I use that other one is you have to like tag it basically every time you go into, like we're walking into this room, like just letting you know like it's this room, and you have to let everybody know where you are every single time you hit pause. That drove me nuts, because I hit pause a lot because things would happen, people would start talking, whatever. This is great because you can just pause it and you can start it in one room, and when you're done in that room, you can make a new file. So you could have hours worth of stuff in here with EVP sessions for like one room, and then go to a new room, and then you can say, now we're in this room of the house, and it's, to me, that's like way easier. Like, maybe I'm just weird and crazy, but I'm very excited about that. So the other thing, and I think this is my favorite, some of you may know what this is right off the bat, but I guarantee you if you've watched a paranormal show, you've probably seen this. This is a grid. It does this, if I can shine it not in my face. The cool thing about this is you can change what the dots do and sort of decide how big you want your grid to be or how detailed. I find that to be super awesome. Sorry I keep looking over here, by the way, I can see the little screen, so I'm trying to see what I'm doing. Anyway, I love this, and it's very awesome, and I'm so excited to use this. One problem that they don't tell you on the website is you can't just click it and have it, like, you can see the light come on there. It does not stay on. You have to hold it down. And at first I was like, how are we gonna do anything? Because I don't know about you, but when I hold something in an area, like, my hand shakes and moves subtly, so all of the dots on the screen are always gonna be moving. Like, it's pretty hard to tell whenever something's walking or disturbing that grid or whatever I'm trying to say. I can speak, I promise. Anyway, we bought this after Christmas to go with it. This apparently should have come with it in the first place, but we just didn't realize we needed it. It's a little mini tripod, and what you do with it, you put this guy in there, turn it on, and it keeps it on. That way you can just set it down and walk away if you need to or whatever. So if you're gonna buy one of these, get this, or it's a total waste of your money. Just saying. I love that. And the other fun thing about that is if you have cats, that thing will drive them nuts. And I discovered this immediately when I turned it on and like scared the crap out of one of my cats. Like, she seriously jumped several feet in the air. I've never seen her do that. And I just kind of like hold it on the floor. My other cats look at it and they're just like, we don't know where to start. There's like a bajillion dots. And they look at it like they're high and they're not sure what's going on. It's pretty funny. Anyway, the other thing that I have here, which kicks on automatically when I open it. Yay. I watched Piper's video on some of her equipment, and I think this is the same camera, but she called it like an infrared camera. This is a full spectrum camera. They even stuck a little sticker on it there, and it definitely does some really interesting stuff. I don't know if maybe full spectrum and infrared are the same thing and I just never realized that or what. So if you know, feel free to tell me that I'm an idiot and just let me know what it is. But it's pretty interesting. I like messing around with this, especially when I have that grid thing going, because whenever that's going and I shine this at it, there's lights that show up between the green dots that are like white that I don't see when I look at it, but I see it through this. So it's really, really cool. Downside again to this is that it doesn't really have like an outside, it's got a teeny tiny light in the front, but it's like a normal light, so there's no big infrared or big, is it UV? Something. Words, whatever. There's a cool thing though on their website that like attaches, like you hook this up to it, and it's like a bar deal that comes out, and you can hook up these like big square things that do put out that light. This will still pick it up, it just doesn't emit that, I guess, on its own, so I'm looking into getting some of those someday when I'm not totally broke-ass poor, which I am at the moment. The last thing I'm going to show you guys, and this is the part that's probably going to take the longest because I'm going to show you everything, is my millimeter. It's the 8704R REM. And it's got two different things you have to turn on. If you want it to do this, you have to turn on the REM button on the back. That's not the EMF thing. I'm still trying to figure out what that actually is picking up on, because this I can set off myself, which is also annoying. I realized, like, I've never noticed some of this when I watch things on TV. One thing I realized immediately is that to get this to go off, I'm gonna have to poke a ghost, like, in the face. Like, they have to be right up on that to make it go off, so never realized that before. But anyway, the other thing I noticed is that this thing is super cool because it reads, has like two different settings for what it reads. This is set to milligauss right now. There's like, I don't know if it's Miko Tesla or Myco Tesla. something, but it said on this little sheet of paper that came with it, it was like, hey, it reads this, but no one in the paranormal field uses that, so ignore it. And I was just like, oh, well, okay. So I have it set on this. The other thing this does, which is really cool, is it reads temperature. So if you can see what that's reading right now, it's like 70.9. If I put my hand around this, even though it's probably going to piss off that thing, it will start going up, because this is the little dealie that's reading the temperature. I can't show you an actual EMF field right now because there's nothing over here. Like, obviously, I don't have an EMF field, which is something I somehow never really noticed. Like, I find it interesting that we think ghosts have EMF fields, even though ghosts are supposed to be dead people, but we don't emit an EMF field, so I'm gonna be interested to sort of read up on why we think that. I think it's interesting. Like, and I think that we do give those off, but I wonder why. So, anyway, computers seem to give off really low readings of this in my house, and the microwave gives off like a 2 point something. So that's kind of cool, but nothing anywhere near this camera right now is going to give you a reading, so I can't really show you. The other cool thing that this does is, you can see at the top, it's a flashlight. And it's a red flashlight. And the cool thing about that is, in the dark, that's why this is also, I don't know if you can tell, yeah, it's red too. So in the dark, when you see red, it doesn't screw up your night vision. So if you needed a flashlight suddenly, you could turn on this little dealy-majig, and it would not screw up your ability to see everything else once you turn it back off, which is cool. So that's basically the gist of the Mel meter, as far as I've figured it out so far, because I haven't gotten a chance to play with it a whole lot. Oh, gotta turn the REM pod off. Okay. Okay, so that's my ghost hunting equipment. I don't think I forgot anything. Pretty sure I did not. That's what I got though, and it's quite an arsenal now, I would say. Much better than like a camera and like an old audio recorder. So I'm excited to use it. I haven't done it yet. Still trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. My friend Blaine says he's gonna help us out too. So I think probably what's gonna happen is we're gonna end up going to like a hotel or something to start, because I just need to practice using this stuff before I try and do anything too serious. So that's what I'm doing right now. Let me know what you guys think, I guess, if you have questions about something, or if I totally said something wrong, because let's be honest here, I'm very capable of that. Like, feel free to point out that I'm an idiot and that I didn't do it right. Otherwise, I will just talk to you guys next time. See ya!